reveal. There's no like, try and see maybe a bit of a hint, a bit of a sprinkle. No, it's just like, so have you told Aerith?
Like we can talk about that kiss and how horribly filmed it was too, because there was no linger there.
But that's why I think they done that on purpose.
Off of them. Disgusting.
They did that on purpose, obviously, because like look at the stuff with their hug as well in the resolution scene. It was very like, ouch, you hurt me, and Cloud thinking about how cool he is, and then on their kiss it doesn't even show you their lips touching, which tells me it's on the same level as when Jesse has kissed him on the cheek, Yuffie has kissed him on the forehead, and this is done on purpose where you don't see it, because the one that you do see...
I saw someone on Twitter try to argue that, it's just done for a dramatic effect. Like
dramatic effect. You know what would be dramatic effect? Dramatic effect would be if you saw them kiss. Yes, that would be more dramatic if you see them actually touch lips. That would be the most dramatic thing.
The amazing
or better lighting, because that
better lighting,
very poorly lit.
Girl, but our date somehow had loads of lighting, 4 cameras in there.
Okay. Can I just say something real quick since you brought that up of the lighting?
Yeah.
Thing. So like there was this image that leaked around, back before the full video was leaked. This was back when I was still on speaking terms with Tay, and basically the leaked image was so low quality that she thought it was fake.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because it was super low quality.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I can't blame anyone for thinking that it was fake, because that's the way they made it look.
But also, exactly, the fact that they made it look like that is very telling. Because why on earth, if a canon couple is about to share their amazing, romantic first kiss, why would you do that? Like, what?
Because it goes back to
it looks like they regret it.
Yeah, like, oh man, why'd I have to make this?
I mean, the Cloud and Aerith almost kiss had way better lighting, and there was a zoom in, and there was attention paid to it, because you see them pull apart, and they were like, "Whoa, something almost happened."
I call this the tale of two interpretations by the developers. So think about this for a second. You have Nojima in their interview talking about that scene and how embarrassing it was for them putting that scene together.
Fan service, not part of the main story.
That tells you everything you need to know about how interested they really were in doing a really quality scene for Cloud and Tifa, okay? Because they were only doing it for the fan service. They were only doing it. And what's really brilliant is that the way that they do it, as well as intertwine with the context, so that anybody that's paying attention understands the context behind the scene itself. So you realize this is like a big giant nothing that's happening right here. In contrast to the interview that Hamaguchi gave about the gondola date between Cloud and Aerith. What did he say? He said not only was that what they did between the Loveless play and the gondola date, they went all out for that scene. But remember, he talked about all the events leading up to it were very, very important to that scene. So he made it an emphasis of the relationship. They put everything into the development of Cloud and Aerith's relationship leading up to that date. And now that we know that there was a final dream date, now we understand why that was so important that they did it, because there were references to that date in not only the dream date but also in the Sleeping Forest too as well. So they went all out in detailing everything they needed to for the build up to the date between Cloud and Aerith in the Gold Saucer, and you can see the difference between what they did with him.
It's also the only date that has the similar dialogue to the original. The only one. So actually, in terms of which one is much more canon than the rest, our one is also referenced in Rebirth.
That was actually something else I would like that I remembered.
Not to mention,
and don't forget one last thing. One more thing. This is the last point. Don't forget, they seal the date in something very, very, very iconic. Even though we don't get the kiss, we get the almost kiss, which is just, I die every time I see that scene.
Oh God!
But we get the Koibito Tsunagi that takes place as they're cuddling on on the Skywell, and that's so important.
No, even more important than that, words drowned out by fireworks.
Not just that, but that specific intertwining of the fingers is the final scene that you get with those
ours
two
is just
in the battle.
That's throughout canon, literal scenes.
Referenced. Right, it's
and
referenced.
The Sleeping Forest scene too, remember? That's also referenced from the date.
Exactly, because she says, just focus on you, the one I'm trying to find. I'm trying so hard to find, which is the exact same thing.
And if you don't get her date, you'd be very confused as to what she's talking about.
Which means they've literally intertwined the story in a way in which it was their intent that you get that date. Now they give you this little fan service situation with Diva, but that was not their intent. Just like going all the way back to OG, the game has always been written that they intend for you to follow a particular path because that's the story. They did the same thing here in Rebirth. They intended for you to follow a particular path, and if you do, the pieces in the story fall right together for you to understand the full dialogue and the full meaning of the story. And they put it together perfectly. And they don't do that with that scene with Cloud and Tifa. And it's evident that this was an embarrassing moment for them. They openly say this was embarrassing. They say that they liken it unto what do they call it? The Sim. A moment in like the game The Sims. Now, come on now. That's
imagine a canon couple's amazing moment being described like this. You wouldn't see them describing Tidus and Yuna's kiss like this. They'd be saying magical, amazing, romantic, one of a kind. Those are the words you want to hear.
Exactly. But going back to what I wanted to say earlier, when you brought up the fact that it's the most similar to the OG counterpart of the Gold Saucer dates. That was something that particularly stuck out to me during one of the developer interviews for the Rebirth Ultimania. I forget which one it was, but in one of them in one of the interviews they talked about how with the Gold Saucer dates they generally approached them with the mindset that they would be different from their original counterparts. Yet in another interview in that same book, they say for the Aerith date, they felt an obligation to stick to the original counterpart.
Yes, exactly. Which just tells us that it's the one that's supposed to link to the story. Otherwise, there is no... you will not understand what Aerith is talking about in the Sleeping Forest. You will also not understand why is it that they're having another bloody date. Because they don't have a spot. And then the song, you won't understand what they're talking about in their place. What's their place? You won't understand that if you didn't do these things, with Aerith, yeah. Hang on. Right. I'm going to go to the next Ultimania page, which is to do with, again, same thing in terms of the chapter, not chapter. This is the one where Cloud leaves, sees Aerith walking away, and has the little tear, the little tear thing. And on there, I have highlighted as to why is it that Cloud is feeling this way. And one of the things it said is that it's the backlash from the pleasure he feels. That should be in caps. Pleasure. It's the backlash from the pleasure he feels after spending time with Aerith. Because I have heard that Cloud absolutely hates spending time with Aerith. Absolutely detests the girl, I hear.
Yes,
absolutely wants to banish her from his sight. Very annoyed. Yes, exactly. And the thought that he's having a sensation that is, removing this pleasurable feeling and being replaced by this ominous type of destiny is very interesting because it's like as if he's angry. He's annoyed that he is not feeling this pleasure anymore because this bloody thing, this sensation that he can't explain. Girl, get back here. Yeah, like what the fuck? What's happening right now? Give me the happy feelings back. But alas, he doesn't. And on here it then says that this simple scene, and they say simple because it is a simple scene of just Aerith walking away. This simple scene of Aerith waiting for Cloud, but perhaps even this casual time spent together is so precious Again, that needs to be caps. As to manifest something between the two of them. The devs are literally telling you that the simplest things between them is so precious to them that it actually creates such wondrous feelings. Now, I don't know about you.
Most important to you,
I don't know about you guys, but I don't ever see the devs explaining such things between Cloud and Tifa. I don't ever see them saying anything remotely the same. That
there's a lot of like romantic language.
Romantic language.
They do talk about Tifa's complex feelings as she watches Cloud and Aerith building their world together.
Yes, indeed. Mm-hmm. Oopsie daisy. Don't forget about that one. But yeah, and that's the thing, right? This thing, because to begin with, we just thought that this little scene is just a reference to the Sleeping Forest scene, which is exactly what they say down below here. But obviously, it's not just that. And again, every single time there is a scene with Cloud and Aerith, it's a little bit deeper than what we think, because it's actually them already bonding in some way and already building their little world together. And it's just like, it's beautiful.
Well, it's
means that what they're saying is
build, and that's why this is one of the most, like, my most favorite scenes in the entire like remake game, because it's building off of so much, like it's extrapolating from what you already know from OG and taking that and putting it into these new vessels of Cloud and Aerith, and it's adding something else this also brand new.
No, I was going to say, do you know what else this also means? I mean, they say it's the backlash from the pleasure he feels after spending time with Aerith. The sensation is being quashed by this ominous destiny. This simple scene, of Aerith waiting for Cloud. Now, wait a minute. This means, okay, so just think about this for a second, because he tried to kind of act like he was annoyed. The reason why this is so important, because they use this argument too as well when they say that he seemed a little bit annoyed at the fact that she was waiting for him. When in actuality, he's once again putting up a facade. He
doesn't want Aerith to see him crying, and because she's going to ask about it, and she did. But she doesn't push it because she knows maybe he's not ready to talk about it.
When he saw her waiting for him at the end of the tunnel is the thing.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Like, oh my God, it's my baby.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. What I'm saying is that in the translation, many people have tried to argue that he was kind of annoyed that she was there, and that when she gives him the look, because remember when they translated, she gives him the look like, "I want to spend more time with you. Is that all right?" And so a lot of people was like, "See, she's trying to force her way into the picture. He's really annoyed. He's trying to get back to sex."
Yeah, here we are. That's not the case at all.
This actually explains that he was having a very pleasurable feeling, meaning that he was happy that she found she waited for him. He was happy
like the game that when they meet back up again, that his heart starts to race.
Yeah, and you know what? The thing is, we don't even need the Ultimania to know that Cloud was having fun.
I know.
The dude did not leave. And he even wanted to go back with her. That's in the game.
Include a character and Cloud to have such this emotional attachment if he was meant to be fucking annoyed by Aerith. That's just a ridiculous argument. That's total projection because they hate her.
You can literally see when Cloud is annoyed at things, like actually annoyed. Like when he's talking to Corneo, you can see the dude is annoyed. He doesn't want to be there. He tuts. He turns his, he has such like defensive language. But look at how he is with Aerith. He is smiling. He's literally doing high fives with her. He's literally going on freaking... This is a date.
I know.
Exactly. His time with the fact that he says in Rebirth that the ideal date is just walking.
Yes, so exactly. He literally says that.
And he likes his girls assertive.
Honestly, assertive girl, and his ideal date is walking. And who does he do that multiple times with? Aerith. And just like Court said as well, remember, Aerith is the one who pushes.
She took him on a walk to remember.
Oh my God! Stop! That movie makes me cry. Don't even. Don't even go.
I kind of think he's referencing that when he says a walk, because remember their very first date, and Hamaguchi mentions that it's his favorite date.
But it better not end the same way. It better not end the same way, because that movie wrecks me. But yeah, it had like Cloud was happy to literally, he sees Tifa, he's like, oh, there's Tifa over there.
Actually, it's left a question whether or not Jamie lives or dies.
All right, let's not get into that because I've got things to say.
I've
got a lot of things to say about that movie. That movie literally ruined me. I did not think it was going to be like that. I always cry. Always. Yeah, so it's Cloud literally like sees Tifa leaving and he's still like, you want me to go back with you, Aerith? Like, you need help? And it's actually Aerith who's like, Cloud, we're going after her. Like, what are you doing? He does not have any, like, urgency to be like...
Oh, she's fine.
Yeah, he's just like, whatever.
You don't know about
it.
Also, but can I quickly insert that the final date we're going to see Cloud and Aerith on their last walk is going to be down the aisle.
Oh my god, stop it. Imagine.
Yes.
Imagine.
Yes,
oh, that'd be so nice.
Oh, no. Fox is right about this because Hamaguchi and Kitase have already forecasted this. Well, before remake even dropped, when they took the picture in front of that mock-up remake of the church with the altar,
these little things.
And Aerith sitting opposite of it.
When we look back after the game is finished, we'd be like, oh, why? Of course, look at this. It was there. It was there all along.
They have been nothing but forecasting all this stuff all along.
Literally, they're literally telling us, right, guys, look at us in the church, back to back with Cloud and Aerith colors. Like, look at us, get the hint. And now we're all like, oh yeah, that's so cute. That picture is cute, and it's actually like a foreshadowing of them getting married. And that's one of the things, right? But I also like to think that at some point in like the timeline that Cloud, Aerith, and Zack are in, that Cloud and Aerith are gonna walk ahead, and Zack's gonna see them, and he's gonna be like just chuffing to himself, like, I guess this is what it is, and he just like, wait up, guys, and yeah, and it's just like he's happy for them, and yeah, I'm gonna love that. Yeah.
I mean, I love that scene
gonna be
where
the best
on the
man
bike.
at the wedding.
Wingman to begin with. He's the bridge.
He's on the bike, and he's contemplating what his choice is going to be. When the timeline where he chooses to help Cloud, and he's looking at the
ribbon
note, and then he's got the ribbon, and he's thinking about what Marlene told him, and then he says, Cloud, I got you.
And that's it. Broski right there. The moment he said that was it. He made a decision.
Zach's like, I kind of hate you right now.
Yeah, but he's like, you know what? I can't actually do anything about this. And it's just so, like, of course he's a bit shocked because he had no idea that Cloud and Aerith even met. Like, he has no clue, right? But he accepts so easily what Marlene says because she's just like, why would she lie? You know?
Right.
And that's the thing, because people are like, when they said about that scene of where Marlene's like, it's because you weren't there. Marlene does not know Zack and Aerith were together. So why would she infer that it's the only reason Aerith fell in love with Cloud is because Zack wasn't around? That's not what she meant. What she meant is that you were there to see them falling in love. You know?
Right.
And that's what they'll say as well. She's just 4.
Exactly. It's basically... There's this trope in some media where like a kid says something and they mean it in like an innocent way, but like it's brutally honest from the perspective of the person receiving
Marlene is basically just a tool that was used by the devs to portray to us and to Zack that this is the current relationship of Cloud and Aerith. That's just a way. She's not like, oh, she's just a 4-year-old. She's not a real person. She's not a real 4-year-old. She was written by adults. Like, this is a line that was given to her as part of storytelling. She is not real. Like, come on, people.
She is the narrator.
She is the narrator, exactly.
For Final Fantasy VII, telling Zack and telling the player, the gamer, this is the current relationship between Cloud and Aerith.
She got those feelings literally from Aerith herself.
Right.
This is...
She literally saw them.
Why would she feel the need to exaggerate on behalf of Aerith?
And if Zack can say, yes, I believe you, Marlene, I don't know why his fans cannot. You know? Like, if Zack is able to accept it, so should everybody else. Because some of them are still in denial. They're like, would you really think Cloud would do that to his broski? He told, he said that his broski is a loser and that she should move on. So, he did.
He's dead.
So, that's it.
To Cloud,
you know?
Fighting together. I remember his final line to Cloud when they were fighting together as Sephiroth knocks him back through the timelines. He shouts out to Cloud, save her.
Yeah,
which means his final thoughts were still understanding and recognizing that it was up to Cloud to do that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't his place. It wasn't his place to do so. He is not the hero of the situation.
Exactly, and that's the only brilliant thing. That's the other thing that I think that's amazing about this, because they bring in Zach literally to directly tell the player from Zach's own words, "I'm not the hero of the story. Yes, I'm important. Yes, I have a role to play, but I am not the hero of this story."
Exactly.
And remember, it goes back to what Nomura said about correcting perceptions. They've heard the circumstances in which you have a huge following thinking that Zach is the hero of the story. No,
so
Zach
dumb.
is the hero of Crisis Core. He's not the hero of Final Fantasy VII.
They should just stick to Crisis Core, because it's really annoying that they keep trying to play. Yes, you can hate Cloud all you like, but he is the hero of Final Fantasy VII, whether you like it or not. Even the original, Zack only had 5 minutes of screen time. So let's be honest here. You know, Crisis Core inflated him a lot more. The devs saw the potential with it, ran with it, and gave him a bigger role. That's it.
Right.
That's it. You know. Right. And now, unfortunately, because of Crisis Core, we have idiots who don't have media literacy. You know. Yeah. So hang on. Sorry. It's now 2 hours and nearly half an hour into that. So I'm just going to click onto the next Ultimania quote. Oh, I'm going to zoom in. And this is our famous Doki Doki line. And not the anxiety line, not the he hates her and absolutely is fuming and that's why his heartbeat is racing.
Not that he's having a panic attack.
No panic attacks here, because all I see is a shonen trope that he accidentally touched Aerith and now he's like thump, 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 heartbeat can't fucking stop. He about to have a heart attack just from merely touching her shoulder. You know? And you know what? Cloud didn't have to go up there. He didn't have to go up there. And also, he didn't have to go up there and think about her date with someone else. All right? You know? Because that's where they are right now. They're up there. He's hearing that she's got some, ex-boyfriend from before. And he's thinking, damn, you went on a date? And now look, his heartbeat can't stay still from a mere touch. I can only imagine what he was thinking when they were holding hands. I can only imagine. You know?
I just love this when to see this. I mean, we knew this already, but to have it officially posted so that you can say, "Hey, we're sorry. I feel sorry for you." Well, not really. I don't really feel sorry for you because you were warned. We told you about this.
Yeah,
but
and that's the thing, right? 2 years they had to look at this. They were warned, and they decided, now we're gonna be, Delulu about it, and here you are, Doki Doki, bitch.
Because they couldn't get out of, they can't get out of the game.
Yeah,
that they've
and
played
they tried to make us think that this was such a bad thing by saying we are a cult that thinks this, but that's what they always do, right? They always try to add some insult to the scene or whatever we're doing so that we won't say about you, like we won't talk about it, and then that way it's then pushed to the side. But no, we're never going to stop talking about this, because actually, even if you call us a Doki Doki cult, that's right. We're a cult of people who absolutely believes that Cloud and Aerith are in love and that his heartbeat is beating. And no amount of people who will keep saying that makes us a bad, as a Clerith, right? If you are a Clerith who uses that insult to us, then you are a Clerith who does not believe that this scene is romantic.
Podcast.
Honestly, I could go on a rant. Actually, no, because we're about to go into the drama in a minute, so we'll add that in there.
We should just have a whole drama podcast.
We will. Honestly. Don't you worry. We will. We will have a whole drama podcast, and I'm telling you, the receipts
I don't
I'll
think
bring.
We'll have the time for the final article or anything.
No, I still have the 3 others that are anti-Clerith in the Ultimania, so I'm going to move on to that real quick.
Yeah.
So this one here it is, the Zack persona, where he gives the flower to Tifa. Again,
I love that.
Why on earth would Cloud even have a thought of Zack in this scenario if this was meant to be a romantic thing between the two of them? You know, she even says on here that he's trying to act cool, like he thinks Zack would. So that actually, this is not the real Cloud doing this. He's doing this because he thinks it's what Zack will do. But in essence, why does he think Cloud needs to do that?
He's pretending to be someone he's not, and that's what happens in the later scene too, as well, which I'm sure we'll get to.
Which
but
tells
it's just
me
this isn't Cloud. He's not.
It's
super
not him.
Suave,
He's
you know?
not. And the thing is, why is it that he thinks Tifa would prefer a super suave, cool guy like Zack to do these things? Does he think that Tifa won't be happy if he is his normal self? And he does this often, which tells me
he would be right.
What he's literally thinking, I think Tifa would like what Zack would do. Which tells me Zifa writes, baby. Like, come on.
What Zack would do.
What would Zack would do. Exactly. He never thinks, actually, I can just be myself and Tifa would like it. He never thinks that. Because at the end of it, he's always copying someone else to, like, have a scene with her, to talk to her.
I could have a whole conversation about this, because in part it is due to Cloud's own insecurities, because he's like this with Aerith in the very beginning too, only he's a little bit colder, not necessarily flirtatious.
But that's
in the very beginning.
Cold is not
combination.
Zack. That's not a Zack persona. Him being cold to Aerith is not a Zack persona, because that is just him. You know? And that's the thing. She then brings him out of that shell, but actually him being cold was always a thing, even though when he was young. Because Tifa also mentions it. That when Cloud was young, he was like that.
When he does mimic Zack's mannerisms around her, she's just like, stop it, I don't like it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why...
Whereas Tifa is quite taken
she happily
with
accepts it.
persona.
Look at it's right there. It literally says, happily accepts it.
Here's the funny thing you got to keep in mind. Remember what Sephiroth said about his memories, that the Genova cells copied Tifa's memories onto the persona that he created. Now, here's what's really, really deep. Her memories of a soldier are Zack. Zack and Sephiroth,
and that's what it's bonding with.
Ever met. So that's what she perceives as a soldier,
exactly,
as a hero. Mm-hmm. So when he's in front of her and when he's with her,
that's the soldier that he sees.
Yeah, that's the soldier that he perceives that she wants. That's the soldier that he perceives is the ideal hero.
I don't think it's as deep as all that. I think it's that Cloud was actually paying attention on the night of the water tower, and he heard Tifa talk about how she had her own big expectations.
But that is one of the things, though. Hero. It does say that, though, in the other Ultimania. It does say that it is when he's in front of Tifa that his Genova cells react to her memories. So actually, that is also very true. That is what he sees in her memories, and that's what he reenacts in front of her. So actually, that is also correct.
The promise yet. I don't think he remembers.
No, and that's the thing. And also, just underneath, I'm not sure if you guys can see right here, she actually acknowledges that Cloud is like, what is this thing about the 5 years thing? And then she comes to her senses and switches the topic. So again, there's lots of times of where she's like, not really sure what he's doing, but instead of pushing for it, she's just like, meh, whatever.
Yeah, she had an opportunity right then to like 5 years ago.
What do you mean? What do you mean, Cloud? Years. You know? Like, all she sees is
Where were you?
Yeah, what do you mean, her? Say something more. And then that's what annoys me, because then in Calm, she has the audacity to demand, where have you been? Where were you when I needed you? Bitch, you couldn't even ask him where he was. You couldn't even ask him, and now you're yelling at him. Like, what is this audacity that just come over her? She doesn't, like, she wants him to say all these things that she's always been wanting from him. Things like, I totally remember the promise. I wanted to be the person there for you. And unfortunately, he was not. And then she chastises him for it. And it's just like, maybe you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I mean, there were opportunities. She could have not ignored him at 7-7.
Exactly. And also, she could have, actually... I fucking hate that scene so much. It's like, wow, okay, you just isolating Cloud then, huh?
Well, this is obviously a culmination of all these emotions pent up inside of her that she should have said. And then when Cloud questions her identity, she couldn't take it.
Exactly.
Because she's been holding this back all this time trying to deal with it because he wanted to believe that he's the person that she's been waiting for all this time and so on and so forth.
She wants
so
the hero that he is not.
Right, exactly. So when he throws out there questioning her identity, that just threw her completely off, and she just lost it. Is what happened. So all of this emotion start to come out that she's been feeling, and that she's been pinning up inside of her that she should have addressed from the very beginning, and she didn't. So now when he accused, you're accusing me?
Yeah. That's why I thought it was a really good thing that Cloud didn't actually back down at the beginning when they had that fight. I just thought, no, you're just a bully. Next one is this. Why was Cloud? I find that interesting that they have a lot more of this same exact scene that they keep asking about. Cloud is often posturing when he interacts with Tifa. Now, I don't know if you guys are all aware what posturing means, but it sure as hell does not mean that he's being normal, all right? It doesn't mean he's being real, all right? He's posturing there.
Exactly.
It's a representation of his own childish version of the person he wishes he was.
You could easily say he's pretending.
Yes! Exactly. Just in case people did not know. Okay, they didn't have an encyclopedia, no Google available. Posturing, okay, is just another word for that he is pretending to be something that he is not. He is pretending. Exactly. He is fake. He's not the real Cloud right there. And that is highlighted especially in the scene with the flower to Tifa. And it's not very hard. You would always see that scene and you would think, the fuck, that's not what Cloud would do. Who is that? Straight away, you don't even need these Ultimanias. You would be like, huh? Who is that? Who's he pretending to be? Not himself, clearly. And it's always around Tifa. And that's always their theme, their reoccurring theme. He's not himself when he's around Tifa. He is some fake person that they made up. Basically.
Yeah, Tifa is very secondary in almost all of their huge scenes together. And she is just this vessel for him to be cool, for his own sense of validation.
Exactly.
But when you read this, though, it's actually sad. Because
it is sad.
It is.
He has such a low opinion of himself.
Yes.
That when he's around
that stemmed from childhood. Nothing to do with Aerith, just in case people thought that.
Right, it stems from his childhood and the way that he felt that he was perceived by everyone, not just her, but everyone around Tifa. And so when he's around her, he literally does not want to be himself. He wants to be someone else, someone that he believes will be more accepted. Again, when I see this stuff, it just makes me appreciate Aerith all the more.
He act like himself around Tifa, she rejects him.
She reinforces his behavior.
Exactly, reinforcing that behavior.
Well, when parts of his real self come out, she doesn't like it, or she claims she's uncomfortable, or she claims that you're frightening me, you're scaring me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She cannot deal with the real Cloud. She doesn't understand the real Cloud.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
She doesn't love the real Cloud.
Exactly. No. You know, there's no real Cloud in any of their scenes whatsoever, and the only time that she sees the real Cloud,
a romanticized version that she's had since the water tower.
Exactly.
Right.
She thought, oh, you got a handsome face. Let's think you're my prince. You know, it's that type of thing where you just imagine like some handsome fella is gonna be, coming to your rescue whenever you're, in trouble. Protection. And that's the thing. Who she wants is actually Zack. What she wants is Zack. Zack wants to be a hero. She wants a hero. Here we are.
Right. And Rebirth, I thought, really pointed that out really well when she has her moment in the live stream, and then they're talking after she's back and she wakes up. She's once again romanticizing something that, from Cloud's point of view, it's nothing romantic about it. Exactly. It was miserable for him.
Exactly.
So when she talks about how he liked being alone, and how he was a hero when he saved her and so on and so forth, he's looking at her like, are you out of your fucking mind? Like, that wasn't fun for me. Being alone was not fun for me. And she's looking at him confused.
And the fact that she does not understand that until, the very end is, so shocking.
Right.
You're supposed to be the childhood friend. How do you not know these things?
Right. He was like, "You thought that?" Like he was like, "I always thought you wanted to." He was like, and the way he turns and says, "You thought that?"
Yeah.
And she's looking all confused, like, "I guess I didn't know you the way that I
exactly.
thought." Well,
And that's on a
obviously,
Tifa side quest. That's a side quest that was supposed to show that they, that's supposed to be pro Tifa. No.
right?
No.
It just further shows that they know nothing about each other, and she has created this idea that's not him.
Yeah.
And finally, what's starting to happen more and more as some of his memories are coming to the surface, the real him is starting to come out, and it does not gel, and is not fit what she thought he was.
And you get an Aerith item from this quest.
Yes, and her song plays, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyway, the last one from the Ultimania is the good old hug. The hug scene. The one night stand mistake. Now, again, no canon couple will ever be called a one night stand or a mistake. And the fact that this directly is supposed to lead to the kiss, oof. How can the one night stand mistake?
We have been saying that is that if a hug is like this, imagine the context for the kiss is that he's just doing it to be cool, to salvage his own hurt feelings. To make himself feel better
for that.
Actually, this is. Fox, you made an excellent point here, because this is what's really even more deep about this situation, and I love how they word it. Putting aside any feelings for Tifa.
Exactly.
Meaning that if he had any.
Exactly.
We're not even sure. We can't say that he does. But if he
it's
did,
the same. He
wasn't the slightest bit concerned about it.
No, he was not. Just like the description of what happened with the kiss has nothing to do with Tifa. It's growth for Cloud. That he was able to do this, the hug, and then he was able to do a kiss later on. But again, that's not taking any consideration of Tifa's feelings whatsoever. He wants to be a cool guy in the hug.
It's
and then
posturing. It's
posturing. Yes. And then,
it's posturing, and it gets worse around Tifa if you go her route.
And that's the thing, right? The context,
they are doing the walk of shame outside of the sky
the context of both of the scenes is terrible as well. Tifa is currently crying her eyes out, thinking about all the people she lost, and Cloud is like, "Yeah, I don't really care about that, but I look damn cool. I look awesome,
muscles, girl." He's like Johnny Bravo,
right? And then in the kiss scene, the context is that Tifa is like bumming hard about Cloud mentioning about Aerith on their date. And then she's like, "Oh, we're never this close, actually. This is a little bit weird, don't you think, Cloud?" And then Cloud's like, "I'm gonna just go kiss her." Like, what on earth is that transition, right? I cannot wait.
Well, she said this.
Because she also does reference their almost kiss, I guess, in Gungaga when she says, "Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself again."
That is,
that prompts him. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna go for it. But again, Aerith isn't there for me, so
the context in the Gungaga one, again, Cloud is having a meltdown over his identity crisis, and then Tifa's like, "Let me fix it by kissing you. Just stay still." You know what I mean? Like, how is that?
Same thing. She's posturing as someone cool.
Yeah, like,
why
why do you think? And it's never a romantic situation of where, you know what, they're sitting together, they're talking about their feelings, like Cloud was with Aerith, and Aerith's out there going, "You know what, Cloud, to begin with, this is how it was, but now I like you." And then they move towards the big finish of showing that is a romantic gesture, not a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, in the Tifa date, it's just like you have Cloud like yanking and manhandling Tifa like very, very aggressively, and no regard for her safety or anything.
Same thing with the hug. Same thing with the hug.
He just walks away after that. He's just like,
But do you notice that?
I gotta go. I need to go hang myself now. Goodbye. And then with Aerith, it's just like you have him being super tender and careful, and even like checking for her consent to hold hands. It's just like, is this okay? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Think about this. This happens 3 times. In Remake, he practically crushes her with his hug.
Oh, yes, yeah, exactly. Because he's not thinking of her. He's not thinking of her. He's thinking about himself.
He's smiling. She's bawling her eyes out. A faint, satisfied smile comes across both faces.
What is that face? Like, what? He's literally like, after when he's hugging her, he has this weird face. Like, when he's like in the gondola, like, what? Why you got a weird face, Cloud?
Then in the Loveless play, when you have to do True Love's Kiss, he practically yanks her into that
scene. He does. He keeps
manhandling
Then on the Sky Wheel, when she says, you know, this is the closest we've ever been, you know, am I rushing? You know, maybe I'm moving too fast. And he's like, not a bit. And again,
it's not just 3 times. It's not just 3 times. It's actually 5 times. When Tifa tries to hug him in the Temple of the Ancients, he removes her hands away from him, even though, yes, he's obviously manipulated. He is manipulated. Yeah. However, he's rough with her. He is rough.
He is. Because the point I was getting at is that because what's actually happening is that insecure part of himself when he's around her that wants to be the hero is simply, like you said, portraying he's portraying a role. It's not really in his heart to do it. He's portraying a role. Yeah. Remember what happened in Remake when the first time he complimented her, he was fishing for that compliment when she gave him the drink. She said, you know, most people would have complimented me by now.
Yeah.
He plays that stone cold.
They just want affirmations. These people need to stand in front of a mirror and just like say shit to themselves because they keep wanting it from somebody else. Just say that your drink is amazing. Just say you look cool. Like they keep trying to get it from each other and it just doesn't work out.
Right. And so what happens when she gives him the Cosmo Canyon without even drinking it first? Yeah. He says beautiful because all he was doing was acquiescing to a gesture that she made, wanting the compliment. Same thing happens in Zelda.
She just likes to be complimented. She does say that she is a little bit of a people pleaser, so it's a bit cringe. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, they're both very similar in that they both crave validation all of the time.
Absolutely. Imagine if they were in bed. How is it for you? Do you like it? No, come on now. That's just annoying. Do you love me? Which she does ask him.
That Cloud, who really wants to be wanted by Aerith and is confused in his belief that she doesn't want him, and instead she's still in love with Zack.
And that's why she then confirms for him that, you know what, I do like you. Not Zack, I like you as you are.
Exactly. You know? And that's what I love about her.
He doesn't need to work hard. He doesn't need to work hard for her approval. You already have it. You know, she already loves you.
I wonder what he says to her.
Eh?
He whispers something to her.
Yes, exactly. The words drowned in fireworks. That shit needs to be exposed in the Ultimania. Like, maybe in part 3, they're gonna show us.
What I was thinking.
I should say that
she said we have to embrace this moment, right? And she literally whispered
imagine if that's what he says to her.
Please.
If they repeat Tifa's line and has Cloud say it to Aerith in the gondola, I will lose my mind. Because I could just say there was also a black screen after that, you know. There was a black screen. I'm just saying. Tick, tick, tick. And when they came out, and exactly, Cloud was all like, your hand, my lady. You know, when they come out, he was very like, ooh, nice, you know. Yeah. It's like, we can say that. Oh god, that'd be so amazing if that's actually what he said.
Oh, yeah,
that'd be so funny. Square Enix, you know what to do.
Know. It's just like some things can be kept a mystery.
Yeah,
it's like just imagine what it is.
Yeah.
What's the line that they say to each other? God, I'm trying to remember. I'll leave it to your imagination. It's more fun that way.
No.
Yeah.
Nothing is to be left to our imagination. You need to explicitly tell us. Because I need that for receipts. You know, we can't be having any of this like yes, no, maybe. No, you tell us. You show us even. Have a little, you know, do the same reminiscing type of vibes. Anyway, we're literally going over so much of our time.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to leave in like 30 seconds.
This is the end of the Ultimania quotes. And it's just this briefly talk about the situation that occurred recently, the drama in regards to the line that Hamaguchi talks about, which is this here. I'm just going to zoom in. And he was asked about the kissing scene with Tifa. And this is all he says, that it's a nerdy question and that there was an intention behind this and that it was because it's linking to the hug in Remake. That's literally what they're talking about, which is an awful scene. All right. And then he does say as well that because of that, when we moved from Remake to Rebirth, they wanted to show Cloud growing, which says to me that he was not the same dude who just thought, I'm so cool right now, let me go hug Tifa. He's actually thinking, I might need to listen to Tifa, actually. I might need to do something here. And actually, they're just trying to evolve from a hug to something else. You know, it's not some
sort of... So in essence, what he's saying is that he goes ahead and kisses her to give her the validation that she wanted. It wasn't so much that...
The thing is, he could have easily said in this interview, in this one this was his chance. No, you know, maybe nobody's asked him before.
Yeah,
this was his chance
romantic.
To say...
If they're canon, if it was a cute moment, just say it. Just say it.
Just say they are canon. We did it because they were the canon couple. They obviously have to kiss because they're on a date. It's romantic. That's just all he had to say.
Assume that, you know, Cloud can fall in love with both or either one of them. Just say it was a romantic date.
Exactly. So why didn't they? And then, because of that, IGN, of course IGN, has decided, in this one little paragraph, mind you, this one little thing, they decided to make a whole article about that. And then they insert false things in there. They put in here, this is Hamaguchi's actual words, which is why they put it in quotation. And then at the bottom here, they say, the kissing scene is not just fan service, but a way to portray Cloud's growth. Now, mind you, Hamaguchi never said that.
What? It's just like they saw how you were boasting.
He never said that. Yes, he said the exact opposite. The fact he said it was a branching scene tells you that it is an optional scene, which is ergo fan service because it's not part of the freaking story. And then that's the thing. And they're like, if you can see that it was Cloud who initiated the kiss, not Tifa. Again, that is their own words. IGN's words. Matter. Not Hamaguchi.
It doesn't even matter what Hamaguchi said right here, because remember the interview between Nojima, Nomura, and Hamaguchi, in which they flat said that they would. In fact, they asked the players to consider that scene separate from the main story, like a totally separate event.
Exactly.
You know, like a side. You could consider it a DLC that really has nothing to do with the story, just something to do because that's what you want to see. So they make it clear. That's why they put that scene in there. They put it in there for those that want to see a scene like that.
I actually think Hamaguchi was throwing this guy a bone because he even says, you know, this is a nerdy question. He was throwing him a bone because he can't just keep saying over and over the same freaking thing. This guy's obviously fishing for something. And notice how they never bring up this scene by themselves. This scene is never brought up by the devs without being asked by somebody else. And if it's a canon moment, something so ingrained in the game, so important, why would they not even, like, put it in marketing? Why is it not shown in the concept where it actually should be? And why is it that they don't ever talk about it in a romantic
and
way?
Billboards and in Times Square, you know, just like.
And why does the relationship never progress?
Exactly.
Advertised way more.
And also, after this scene, Cloud and Tifa are not seen to be speaking that much at all in regards to any of that scene whatsoever. They don't flirt. They don't hold hands. They don't talk about it. None of the characters even like talk about their relationship, their bond. In fact, you see the quite opposite. You see Cloud and Aerith going on a date. You see other characters talking about their bond, like Sid and Vincent. You know, they're talking about things that they shouldn't know if the canon scene is Cloud and Tifa. Alas, you see a non-stop from this point on after the date. It is non-stop Cloud and Aerith bond. Always. Their relationship is getting better and better each time.
In fact, you actually see Cloud and
icon
relationship deteriorate.
The icon, sorry, just really quick. The icon of the Gold Saucer date, the chapter, is Cloud and Aerith's scene, not Cloud and Tifa's.
Right.
So, you know, you would think, like, the chapter 14's icon is Cloud and Aerith holding hands. If the canon scene is Cloud and Tifa kissing, why is that not the icon? You know, why is that not being given the moment that it should be given? Because is it not supposed to be this amazing thing?
And again, pointing out that the rest of the story, the way that it's lined up and written, that scene absolutely makes no sense. It doesn't fit anywhere else.
Yeah,
in
I have to go, guys, but I just want to say real quick before I do, to the Doomers of the canon and to King Doomer himself.
Yes, tell him.
Why don't you try to read your own proof first before you tell anyone else?
Yes, facts. Right. Tell him.
Tell him. You know, if y'all want to say his name, say his name. But just know, you know, I've already said it on Blue Sky.
Yeah.
So
same.
Fuck that guy. I don't like him. He's a flip flop.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. I've got nothing nice to say.
Pretty much. Learn to read, basically.
Yeah.
You know.
Like I will have more words for him and the other Doomers on a future podcast. But I just want to say fuck him.
Fuck them. All right, Fox. I was just actually going to say that this
you
is
guys.
So see you later.
Love you too.
Bye bye.
See you. Because this bit is taken the fandom into that road, just like Fox was saying about the dooming. That this one thing has doomed the obvious doomers. We are not surprised that they have doomed. It was obviously going to happen. It's the same old people. Right. But it's exacerbated by the lack of media literacy of the Clerith fans, which we're not surprised. Obviously, they've been losing for weeks and weeks now, so they had to hold on to this one thing. And they're holding on to the one thing that's not actually even said by the devs. But there's so many like screenshots out there of them going, Hamaguchi said that. No, he didn't. He didn't say that, actually. Right. And if they're holding on to such false information, I just can't imagine what it's like to be in a ship like that, where you have to lie to enjoy it. You know? I just can't imagine it.
They've been doing that.
Yeah.
They've been doing that for years, and mistranslations too.
Exactly.
Well, because as I think I've mentioned this before, it's not about lying to themselves anymore to try to convince themselves.
Yeah,
they're already deluded. They're stuck in their misery.
You know, actually, I actually don't think that they are. I really don't think that they're deluded. I actually think that they know exactly what they're doing, and they're doing it on purpose. Because the thing is,
I agree with.
The thing is, it's like you literally see them know the truth, and then they'll say something different, which then is just like, girl, you're just trying to lie to save face until the last game. Like, I'm predicting it now. Before the last game, they'll switch accounts, just like they did with Remake. Going into Rebirth, they switch accounts so that their receipts of the shit that they've been saying isn't found. But alas, we are documenting it. So
this is really about trying to get into the heads of those who they think that they can ruin. It's not about trying to convince themselves. It's about, because I think, like you said, they know it's just about, okay, we're unsatisfied with this, but the only way that we can deal with this is if we can try to make the others on the other side of the fandom as unhinged as possible. That's what their mission is. That's what their goal is. It's kind of like when I mentioned that example of I don't know if anybody saw the movie, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. And at the very end of the movie, they hated the fact that they lost the bet. So their only recourse was to try to destroy the relationship between him and the girl that he found.
And that's exactly what's happening here. That's exactly what's happening
and that's what they're trying to, and that's what's happening here. It's not about trying to win the argument anymore. It's simply about trying to make those on the side of Clerith doubt their own truth
faith.
And doubt the truth and lose faith, so that they give up on the fandom,
and that they're under the impression that we will lose numbers because of it. But the fact is, the more that Clerith is on screen and the more they become canon, the more we will get accepted into normal, you know, couple themed things, and that's just unfortunately something they'll have to live with after the game ends.
Right. Exactly, and that's really what. And once the game comes to its conclusion, like you said, then it'll be done. There'll be nothing else they can do about it. But that's what this is really all about. Even the campaign that they did when Rebirth first released, that campaign wasn't to prove that they were right. That campaign was to try to discourage Clerith from even playing the game.
They keep saying that. They keep saying that we're going to, cancel our pre-order. We are not the ones who did that. They did.
Right.
They did.
Right.
And just really quickly, just because it's now going into the 3-hour mark and it was only supposed to be for an hour and a half or 2, I'm just going to show this thing that Lena has just sent to me. This is how Square Enix treats their canon couple. Your shit will be on the Ultimania. That is iconic stuff. And the fact that it didn't happen, it's just proof. It's just proof. It's not a memorable thing. Nobody really cares about it. And yeah, better luck next time. So you know who was on the cover of the Ultimania though? Clerith. So basically, the devs are telling you that her supposed death scene takes precedence over your kiss. So oof, that's that. Unfortunate.
Exactly.
So I think that's probably where we're going to end this podcast, just because it's gone a little bit too long, I'm afraid. So next time, we'll talk about more. I'm sure we'll get fed more, and then the next podcast is going to be like tons of content.
The Game Awards in 7 days, so
that's very true. Yes, so actually, we might come back to do a live stream commentary of the Game Awards. So
also related to that, the Game Awards tweeted just a bit ago, made a tweet thanking Brianna White's nomination.
Oh, we like that. We like that. Go Brianna. So do we have a question we want answered for the next stream, or should we leave it at that for now? Because at this moment, I think we've kind of covered everything. Maybe we can say that for the next time we can think about what is our most favorite Clerith cameo and why. Maybe that could be the next question. All right. Okay. All right, everybody. That's the end of the stream. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully, we will see you for the Games Awards. Bye.
All right. Look forward to it. Bye.